One of the quietest pressures people live under is the pressure to be approved by others. Not openly, not dramatically. Most of the time, it happens silently, in the way people speak, the way they dress, the choices they make, the things they avoid saying, the dreams they postpone, and after a while, many people stop asking themselves what they actually want because they become too focused on how their life will be received by others. Approval feels comforting because it creates a sense of safety. When people accept your choices, you feel validated, you feel reassured, you feel like you are moving in the right direction. And as human beings, that feeling matters deeply. Nobody naturally enjoys rejection. Nobody enjoys being misunderstood. So from a very early age, many people learn to adjust themselves in order to be accepted more easily, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. And over time, approval slowly becomes connected to identity itself. You begin to feel more comfortable when people agree with you, and more uncertain when they don't. What begins as a normal desire for acceptance can slowly become dependence on reaction. People start filtering themselves constantly, thinking carefully about how they will appear, how they will sound, how their choices will be interpreted, and eventually decisions stop being based purely on personal conviction. They begin to revolve around perception. Will people approve? Will people criticize? Will people understand? And once life becomes heavily influenced by reaction, freedom quietly starts disappearing because now every decision carries emotional risk. Sometimes people stay in environments they have outgrown because leaving may disappoint others. Sometimes people pursue careers they never truly wanted because those careers sound respectable. Sometimes people suppress parts of themselves simply because acceptance feels safer than honesty. And the difficult thing is that this often happens gradually. So gradually that people barely notice it happening. Years can pass while someone is living a version of life that feels acceptable externally, but disconnected internally. And from the outside, everything may still look fine, which makes the disconnect even harder to explain. Modern life has amplified approval in ways previous generations never experienced. Today, reaction is visible instantly. Likes, views, comments, attention, validation became measurable, and once approval becomes measurable, it becomes easier to chase. People begin adjusting themselves toward what performs well, what receives praise, what attracts attention, and slowly, authenticity can begin competing with performance, not because people are fake, but because human beings naturally respond to reinforcement, especially public reinforcement. Trying to be accepted by everyone is emotionally exhausting because different people expect different versions of you. One group wants you quieter, another wants you bolder. One group prefers tradition, another prefers change. And when your identity constantly adjusts depending on the audience, inner stability becomes difficult because deep down, you no longer know whether your decisions belong to you or to the expectations surrounding you. That creates a subtle kind of emotional fatigue, not dramatic fatigue, just a quiet feeling of always managing yourself, always editing yourself, always thinking about reception. At some point, many people discover something uncomfortable. Living honestly may disappoint certain people, not because you are wrong, not because you are selfish, but because authenticity naturally creates disagreement sometimes. People will not always understand your direction. They will not always relate to your choices, and that discomfort is part of becoming independent emotionally, because freedom does not usually arrive when everyone approves of you. Sometimes it begins when approval stops controlling you. Wanting acceptance is human. Wanting approval is natural. But when approval becomes the thing guiding your entire life, you slowly lose connection with yourself. And perhaps one of the most important forms of growth is learning how to hear your own voice clearly, even when not everyone agrees with it.